My mom invited my sister to my wedding. Behind my back, she gave a speech about a nasty high school incident, so my husband kicked her out. Now my mom is siding with my sister. I, 27F, got married to my boyfriend of 7 years, Aaron, 27M, 4 days ago. The wedding was great, except for one part that was ruined by my mom, 52F, and my estranged sister, Monica, 25F. She had to be kicked out by Aaron after making a speech, and now my mother is going crazy, thinking that Aaron was somehow in the wrong. For context, Monica and I haven't spoken in almost 4 years because of an incident that happened at a Thanksgiving dinner my parents hosted. She had been hitting on and subtly flirting with Aaron throughout the evening, but I ignored it because I didn't want to ruin my parents' Thanksgiving dinner. However, after dinner, when we were all sitting around chatting, Aaron came to me and told me that Monica was trying to come on to him, and it was making him uncomfortable. I lost my cool and confronted her in the living room where everyone was sitting, and it turned into a huge scene. She told me it was fine because if Aaron had a problem with it, he would have told her, which he didn't. But that was only because he's a generally quiet person who doesn't like confrontation, which is why he approached me to deal with it. Then she said that Aaron deserved better, and that's why she was hitting on him, because he should know what he deserves and not settle for me. My dad had to intervene and tell her to stop, so she got really annoyed and left. We hadn't seen or spoken to each other since that day, which was a relief because Monica and I didn't really get along anyway. Ever since we were kids, she'd always been fiercely competitive. Even though I was older, she always tried to make me seem less competent and capable. She was already my mom's favorite, but I guess she also wanted to be my dad's favorite and couldn't stand that he treated us both equally. Our relationship got even worse when we were both in high school, and by the time we graduated from college, we were barely on speaking terms. We would meet on holidays and ignore each other, but after that incident, I decided I wouldn't attend any events if she was going to be there. I would ask my dad if she was attending, and if she was, I wouldn't go. If she wasn't, I would. It was the perfect system, and it helped that my dad respected my boundaries, unlike my mom, who always insisted that we patch things up despite how uncomfortable Aaron felt around Monica. So, I guess it's no surprise that my mom invited Monica to my wedding without consulting me first. I was pretty shocked when Monica showed up. After the ceremony, I immediately confronted my mom about it, and she told me that Monica had suggested it. Of course she did. When Monica heard I was getting married, she thought it would be a good idea for us to finally patch things up and get along as sisters. I told my mom that it was a terrible idea and that I wanted her to leave, but my mom insisted that nothing bad would come of it, which she was really wrong about. While we were talking, Monica grabbed the mic and started her speech. I froze in my spot because I knew she certainly wasn't going to say anything good about me. It started off normally enough, with her making a toast to the new bride and groom, but then she started talking about this one incident from high school that she had always held a grudge against me for. In high school, I was a senior and she was a sophomore. There was this guy in my grade, Chris, who was pretty much everybody's crush. He and I were just really great friends, and of course, that led to a lot of people getting mad at me for no reason. I knew Chris because he and I were in middle school together, but then he'd moved out of state for 2 years, and when he came back, he was a lot more attractive than before. I never thought of him as anything more than a friend, and neither did he. But despite that, people seemed to hate me for it, and nobody hated me as much as Monica did. I knew she had a thing for Chris and couldn't stand that he was so close to me, so she went crazy and decided to sabotage our friendship by spreading a rumor that we were secretly dating and that I had even been bragging about it to her at home. That wasn't the case. Both Chris and I were aware of the rumor, and we knew it was Monica's doing. So instead of giving in to her strategy to ruin our friendship, we decided to go along with it. We started holding hands in the hallways and pretending that we were together, just so Monica would feel jealous. We even made a show of it whenever she and her friends would walk past us, and the anger on her face was what we got a kick out of. It got to the point where everybody was in on the joke, and the plan had totally backfired because now people were making fun of Monica for spreading such insane rumors about us. High school kids can be pretty nasty when they want to be. One day, when some kid was making fun of her for lying, she decided to confront me in the cafeteria and give everyone a show. That didn't turn out well for her, because as soon as she approached me, Chris came to my defense and told her off. He told her that she had no right to berate me for anything because she was the one who'd started the stupid rumor just to break up our friendship. He called her crazy, insecure, and jealous. Monica got so mad that she started cursing at him, and the language she used was so terrible that Chris had to walk away. I couldn't stand it either, so I told her to shut up, but she just kept swearing at us. In the heat of the moment, I grabbed her by the hair and slapped her. It wasn't my proudest moment, and both of us ended up getting in trouble for it. But to this day, she holds me responsible for ruining the next couple of years for her in high school because everyone just remembered her from that one incident. I graduated, but she had to spend the next 2 years in high school with the same people who witnessed her first getting told off by the hottest guy in her senior year, and then getting slapped by her sister in front of everyone. It couldn't have been easy for her, but she brought it on herself. I didn't think it was my fault at all. But she narrated the whole incident in a way that made her seem like the victim, and I came off pretty badly in her version of the story. In her speech, she started telling everyone how I not only ruined high school for her, but also ruined her relationship with our father. She said my dad barely even spoke to her anymore, but she didn't even mention the incident that made him stop talking to her. Aaron finally got up from his seat, grabbed the mic, and took it away from her. He caught her by the arm and started dragging her towards the door, and my mother tried to stop him. I just stood there, rooted to the spot, because I couldn't believe this was all happening at my wedding. There was a bit of a fuss at the exit as my bridesmaids tried to push Monica out, but Monica and my mother fought with them. Eventually, both my mother and Monica ended up leaving the venue, and I was so upset that I walked away and hid in the restroom. I didn't come out until Aaron came to reassure me that everything would be fine and that all the guests would judge Monica and my mother, not me. It didn't make me feel any better, but I knew that Aaron, my dad, and everybody else was counting on me to stay strong, so the event didn't end on a bad note. So I went back out there and tried to put on a brave face, hoping that everybody else would forget about what had happened. Afterward, when everybody went home, I talked to my dad about it, and he told me that he was going to talk to my mom and make her apologize to me. I told him it wouldn't be necessary because I didn't care if she apologized or not, and he seemed to understand what I meant. A few days ago, my mom contacted me and told me I needed to leave my husband because apparently he was the crazy one. She called me up and I picked up because I assumed she was going to apologize. I had a lot I wanted to say to her, but as soon as I picked up, I regretted it because she wasn't apologizing. She just wanted to tell me that she believed Aaron was crazy and I needed to leave him. Her reason was that he had physically tried to drag Monica away, and if he could put his hands on a woman who had nothing to do with him, then he wouldn't hesitate to do the same to me. I thought that was a bit of a stretch to compare Monica to me because I hadn't tried to hit on someone and make them uncomfortable, then played the victim. That was all Monica, and Aaron wasn't going to let her ruin our wedding by making it all about herself, which is why he tried to drag her away. Even then, he was pretty respectful about it. Monica's actions were unforgivable, and I told my mom that she should be glad I didn't go up to Monica and slap her like I did all those years ago in the cafeteria. My mom started yelling at me, but I just hung up. It was probably the best thing I've ever done.